From coast to coast, it's time to hear from the three guys who thought they had a chance to make it big. Welcome into the Coulda Been Great Show.
Welcome into another episode of the Coulda Been Great Show, and we're happy you guys could join us once again, and hope you enjoyed last week's episode, had a chance to talk about, just about everything in the major sports world. And we do have a substitution in the fantasy lineup today. Jason's out. He's enjoying his Labor Day weekend, so it's me and JR holding things down for you guys this week here on the Coulda Been Great Show. And JR, some interesting things happened since we were last on the show last Sunday. The MLB trade deadline, a lot of crazy stuff, and as well as basketball. Nuggets coming back, winning in Game 7, but I think they're going to have their hands full with the Clippers.
Yeah, that was impressive, man. The Clippers are going to be a handful for them for sure, but that was very impressive for the Nuggets to pull it back like that, pull it back the way they did.
Yeah, so let's kind of get right into it. We started with the NBA talking about, the movement, the Black Lives Matter movement, and, them holding out with the boycott last week. Let's start today with the little NFL, because it seems like, even though it has been a while since we've had football, with everything going on, it seems like, holy cow, now we have football that starts, next Thursday night. How crazy is that, knowing that, we're now 5 days away from the NFL season?
Man, it's very crazy. I had a fantasy draft the other night, and I'm like, man, it's September, and we just had a draft, but it felt real. It finally felt like it's really about to happen. You know what I mean? It finally felt like football is going to happen.
Yeah, that was one of the things I was thinking about, is it might seem like that maybe just because we didn't have preseason. So it was just like, teams are just practicing, and then all of a sudden, oh, you got a game type of thing, right, instead of, we're used to 4 games and like, come on, let's get to the regular season.
Nah, but the season starts.
Season, like they are playing games that count towards the rest of your year. And so with that being said, let's go through a little bit division winners, because, we talked about it last week, JR, that we don't really know what it's going to look like with these teams, how good they're actually going to be, especially the teams that got new pieces like New England, like Tampa Bay, like, some of the other teams out there. But let's go through and give our predictions. First, we're going to start in the AFC, because this is a pretty tough conference, obviously. And the one that really catches my eye the most, AFC East. Obviously, it's been a perennial conference that goes to the Patriots. But Buffalo Bills, New York Jets, Miami Dolphins, like, what happens this year? Is Cam going to be the guy that can just keep that train rolling?
I guess we're going to see, man. Cam, he's getting the shot. From everything I've heard, Cam's getting the nod, right, as the starter. So
yeah, he's going to be the starter. Yep.
We'll see, man. I don't think it's going to be New England this year. I think Buffalo. I think this is Buffalo's year, man. They've got a lot of talent up there. At Josh Allen, he's really good. I think he's think this year he's really going to progress even more. I don't believe in the Jets. I don't believe in the Jets, and I don't think the Dolphins are there yet. I think they're just too young, too new at it. They will be soon, though. It won't be long for the Dolphins with Otua and everything. But I think this is Buffalo's year, man.
I feel like Bills fans have been wanting to say that for the longest time. But, as crazy as it might sound.
Talent. They have some talent. No,
absolutely. But especially me, obviously, you're a little bit older. You've seen different teams have success in that conference. But my whole life, New England Patriots control the AFC East, basically, And it's been like that the entire time since, whether the Bills or the Jets or the Dolphins were even really relevant in that conference.
Wow.
But,
that's amazing, man, because I was around, with the Cowboys and the Bills back in the day when they went to the 4 straight Super Bowls. That's impressive to say the least anyway. But since then they've really not done anything. And I'm a Cowboys fan, just like my Cowboys. They haven't done anything since then either. So
true. And you're going Bills?
I think
I'm gonna say Cam.
The Bills are gonna do it.
I'm gonna go with the New England Patriots. As much as it hates me to say, I think
tough to go.
Yeah, Belichick is tough, and I think as much as Cam's been hurt, and people have talked down on his career in Carolina and different things, I still think he has something out there, and he'll come out to prove that, especially early on. So I think New England will be there, but honestly, I think it's going to be really close. I mean, it may come down to a game in December or early January to decide who ends up winning the AFC East. But I'm going to go the New England Patriots. I think there's just too much winning pedigree there. But, hey, I completely agree with you. I mean, I think the Buffalo Bills are a good football team and has probably as good a shot as anybody to.
And like, it's just Cam, in my
division.
opinion, he doesn't have as many. He doesn't have. Well, he's got more weapons than he did in Carolina, just by a little.
But still not
Just
much.
by a little bit. And we saw what he did with them in Carolina. So I kind of think it's going to be that way. But they do have better coaching in New England. But I think Buffalo's going to pull it out.
And, we talked about Cam's arm strength. Obviously, he had so much trouble with throwing the ball down the field. But it kind of helps when you have a guy like Christian McCaffrey there that can, get you 115 catches, which he's not going to have that in New England. But they've got some good pass catching back.
Poor man's Christian McCaffrey with James White. James White, he's pretty we'll see.
Yeah. We'll see. All right. That's what you got. JR's got the Buffalo Bills. I'll take New England. Let's move on to the AFC North. This one, pretty interesting. I don't really know what to think. Obviously, a big year from Lamar Jackson last year. MVP candidate. They continue to roll last year. They go 14-2. You've got the Pittsburgh Steelers, the Cleveland Browns, Cincinnati Bengals. Taking a look at that, JR, who's your AFC North champion for 2020-21?
I'm going Ravens.
All right.
I think the Ravens are going to do it again. I think Lamar's going to have – I don't think he's going to have as good as numbers just because, who could do that 2 years in a row, man? But I think his passing numbers will be a little better and his rushing numbers will be a little lower. But I think they have enough to pull it out in that division. But I actually think Baltimore, then Cleveland, then Pittsburgh.
And that's such a weird division. Obviously, there's going to be a lot of hype surrounding Cincinnati. They go 2-14, but they do get Joe Burrow, but they are not anywhere close to competing for a division title. But it gets really interesting when it comes down to the Steelers and Browns, because obviously, you get Big Ben back. What's he going to be? He's a year older, which, is he going to be effective at all? Who knows? But then, Cleveland's just got so much dang talent that if they could find a way to put it together, but I just don't know if they can find a way to collectively put it together in Cleveland.
Yeah, that's going to be tough, man. And is Baker just he sounds like he's saying all the right things right now, like focus on the outside stuff, blah, blah, blah. And we'll see, man. We'll see. But, yeah, I think it's going to be Baltimore, Cleveland, Pittsburgh.
And as much as you want to talk in the NFL, it's about going out there and doing it. You can say the right stuff, but
don't
at the end of the day,
it's about
winning, man. It's about going out there.
Be about it.
Yeah, it's about winning. But I agree with you. I'll go Baltimore Ravens, but I think that could be an interesting conference between the Pittsburgh Steelers and the Cleveland Browns, finding a way to jumble up the mix. And we got to throw a shout out there, Alex Highsmith. Coming to join the Pittsburgh Steelers Steel Curtain.
That's a beautiful place for him to be. Beautiful, perfect place for him. It couldn't have been any better.
Hopefully get some good playing time there in the AFC North. All right, let's scoot down. Another interesting conference, AFC South. This one, been very tight the last couple of years. Last year, you look at the standings. There's only 2 games that separated the Houston Texans winning the division and the Indianapolis Colts being the third-place team and not making the playoffs. So we start with the Texans. They were at the top last year. Tennessee Titans, Indianapolis Colts, Jacksonville Jaguars. Texans, I don't know. Deshaun Watson just got a big payday. But, I feel like Tennessee was, especially last year, why can I not remember? Tannehill just came on out of nowhere and just and you got him, Derrick Henry going they just kind of jumped up and became one of the favorites. But I don't know about this division because I never really invest fully in the Houston Texans.
Right. It's tough, man, because of what Bill O'Brien's his name. Yeah,
Bill
because of him. I don't trust him.
The GM and the head coach and everything else.
I love Deshaun Watkins.
I just forgot.
He got rid of Deshaun Hopkins.
I forgot about that.
Gone.
Top target.
I think I'm gonna represent Wolfpack, Phillip Rivers, Indianapolis will pull out the win.
See, and I started thinking about that as well. Just the other night, when we were doing our fantasy draft, we were thinking, what team has a chance to, kind of make a surprise. And I was in about the 6th or 7th round, and I was still looking for a, wide receiver number 2, and I saw T.Y. Hilton there, and I was like, you know what? He had a down year, obviously, last year, but, losing Andrew Luck, 2 weeks before the season and having to go through the year with a backup quarterback, I was like, you know what? I can think he can bounce back. They've got a good running back core. Their defense is one of the best in the NFL. And as much as people like to, talk crap on Phillip Rivers, the guy is one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time to, never win the big game. Exactly. And so maybe this is the year he can, kind of get a mental recheck and find a way to win. But, yeah, I like that pick, but I'm still going to go I think the Tennessee Titans will get it. Running game is going to carry a long ways, even though, the Colts have a great offensive line. But I think that's going to be –
how much fun is it to watch Derrick Henry run the ball?
I mean –
I love watching him run the ball, man.
And as a Broncos fan, we got to face him week 1. We play him on the second Monday night game. So, and it seems like, according to some reports on ESPN, that they may have just signed Jadeveon Clowney as well to join that defensive line, but nothing is confirmed on that yet. But they have talked about that. So, interesting division. JR is going to go the Colts, which I could definitely see it. I'm going to go Tennessee Titans to have the chance there, and then AFC West, obviously defending Super Bowl champs, Kansas City Chiefs off the top. The Broncos should be improved this year. Obviously, they added some good offensive weapons. Drew Lock's second year. Oakland Raiders, I mean, I just can't buy into Derek Carr.
Las Vegas Raiders.
Why is see, you're right, but ESPN threw me off because it said Oakland Raiders. But no, you're
the only reason correct. I know because I saw it in the draft. I'm like, what is LV? Oh, yeah.
I didn't even think about that. Wow, that's going to be a change. I'd like to go to Vegas, though, to watch a game. And then the Chargers in there as well. Yeah. Obviously, Pat Mahomes and company, they've had a fantastic offseason. They signed Mahomes to an extension. They get, Travis Kelce an extension in there as well as their defensive line. I mean, they've got to be the favorites, not only in the AFC West, but probably, the favorites to win the world or the Super Bowl again, right?
Super Bowl, yeah. I mean, they're gonna be my pick. They're going to be my pick to win the Super Bowl for sure. Patrick Mahomes, man, that's just something different. You know what I mean? Yeah. That's something just totally different. He's incredible, man. I've never seen anything like this, man. And they have so many weapons, so much speed. It's not fair. It ain't even fair, yo. And I don't think anybody can touch Kansas City.
Yeah. I have Kansas City winning the division. Hopefully Broncos can find a way to slot in there and maybe make a wild card game.
I'm hoping for you, man. I'm hoping for you, man, for sure.
Let's go to the NFC side of things. NFC East. Obviously, you're very familiar with this. As you know, most of America, it seems like a huge chunk of America, focuses a lot of their attention on the NFC East. Last year's NFC East champions, Philadelphia Eagles, 9-7, Dallas Cowboys, 8-8, Giants, 4-12, and the Washington football team went 3-13. What do you think on this year, JR? Cowboys, I mean, find a way to get it done?
I'm tired of saying – I am so sick and tired of saying this is the year. This is the year. Yeah, sure. But damn it, this is the year.
I agree with you, though. I think maybe they'll finally all put it together this year.
Put it together. I think there's enough there on both sides. Mike McCarthy, I think that's going to be a good system for Dak. I think it's going to be a very efficient system for Dak. His numbers are going to be really good this year, I think. I think it's our year, man.
Giants, you think they have any shot? I kind of feel bad for our boy there at running back.
Saquon Barkley.
Yeah.
I feel bad for him for sure, but I don't feel bad enough for them to wish that they would win, but yeah, I think they'll be a little better for sure.
Carson Wentz, Carson Wentz make or break here, JR, for the Philadelphia Eagles. Seems like he's been so injured, he hadn't found a way to be there when they need him most.
Wow. Man, I'm gonna say yes. It's time because when they got there and won it, they did it without him, and I mean it's time. So yes.
Both of us taking Cowboys NFC East, is that right?
Yes, sir.
Yep. Let's move on. NFC North: Green Bay Packers, Minnesota Vikings, Chicago Bears, Detroit Lions. Packers won it last year at 13-3. Vikings and Bears are right on their heels. Aaron Rodgers, does he have another one in him to lead this team that doesn't have a ton of weapons to another NFC North title?
Man, this one's tough. Because I think the Stephon Diggs thing is going to hurt Minnesota a lot. I don't think Thielen. No. Did I? Yeah.
Thielen's still there. Yep. And Dalvin Cook.
I don't think I don't think he's enough to carry them wide receiver wise. Dalvin Cook is a beast, but defenses will be able to focus on Dalvin Cook because they don't have to worry about both of them on the outside.
Yeah.
So the middle is going to be clogged up a lot. So I don't know. I think Green Bay is going to do it. I think this is almost a make or break year for Aaron Rodgers, right? Would they just
Yeah, I mean,
got the
talk
rookie
about
first
trying draft first round you instead of giving him a. It was like what he hasn't had a wide receiver, a tight end, or a running back like drafted in the first round in like the last 10 years or something.
How crazy
and they draft Jordan Love out of Utah State to be his replacement.
Wow,
it's crazy. I agree.
But yeah, I'm
going Green Bay
Rodgers
Packers too, though.
Get it.
Yeah, and I think the Green Bay Packers will find a way to come out in the division. But that's an interesting division. The Bears can't seem to get over the hump, and Vikings are going to be good, I think, but I don't know if they'll have enough for Green Bay. And then we'll finish up in the NFC South, another great division. Obviously, we still got the West, but NFC South Panthers. They're probably going to be the basement dweller this year in the NFC South.
In the NFC South, yeah.
Maybe in the NFL.
I guess so. Maybe it's that's sad to say, man. Being here in Carolina, that's sad to say. But yeah, they don't have enough. And it's so hard. It's so hard to go against Drew Brees, but man, I'm not going against Tom Brady.
I mean, look what all they just signed. Even though if Leonard Fournette is washed up, they just signed him to his deal. But damn, man, he can still get you at least 500-600 yards a game, and that's like the lowest he can get you. Or not a game, a season. I mean, but
then he's not going to have to carry the load. So he's not going to have to be the number one back because Robert Jones is nice.
Yeah,
and then they have LaShawn McCoy also. So yeah,
there's so many weapons.
2-3 running backs. They have 2 number 1 tight ends, 2 number 1 wide receivers.
Going Bucks?
Mm-hmm.
Give me the New Orleans Saints. I think the Saints will find a way. I think Drew Brees will find a way. They still got Kamara. Who knows what in the heck's going to happen?
For Brees?
No, I think it depends. It'll come down to they need a little bit more production. It was a kind of a down year for Kamara. He was injured for a couple of games, but I think he'll end up retiring as Saint. But I like the Saints. I think they'll get back on track. And it's just so hard to win down there in New Orleans. So we'll see. It might be easier this year with no fans in there. But JR is going to go the Bucks. I'm going to go the Saints. But obviously, Tampa should be considered a Super Bowl contender. And then we'll finish up in the NFC West here really quickly. 49ers won it last year at 13-3. Seahawks 11-5, Rams 9-7, Cardinals 5-10. That's a pretty tough division there.
That division's going to be tough. They're going to beat each other up too. I mean, I don't think anybody's going to just dominate that division at all. But I think, wow. I'm going to go with Seattle. I'm going with Seattle.
And I mean, you can never count out Russell Wilson. I mean, that guy is just a gamer.
I can't go. I'm blanking on his name. Garoppolo. I can't go Garoppolo over Russell Wilson. I can't do it.
I'm going to go at an outlier. Give me a bounce back year for the Los Angeles Rams.
Okay.
I think they'll find a way to get back into the conversation. They still have the pieces. Obviously, one of the reasons it was a down year last year, obviously for Goff, but they had no running game. And Gurley was hurt. They were still trying to figure out what they were going to do with him load management wise. But so you're going to go the Seahawks. I'll go the Rams. But obviously, 49ers are going to be good. They still have a bunch of pieces to be successful. And don't count out Kyler Murray and the Cardinals. They could sneak into a wild card spot.
Heads, I think they're going to be pretty good, man.
I mean, you throw in DeAndre Hopkins, you can't get worse on offense. That can only help Kyler Murray and Cliff Kingsbury. So, that's what we'll do there. And should be fun. Things start.
It's going to be fun, man. Football starts. Here it comes.
Thursday night. Yeah. Texans Chiefs Thursday night, Eastern time. We should be able to check that one out. But, with that being said, JR, let's scoot over a little bit and talk about baseball because, it's been an interesting year. Obviously only playing 60 games. They about didn't even play this season. The players and the Players Association couldn't quite come to a deal with the MLB, but they get it done, and they implemented some interesting rules. First of all, we'll start with, with the 60-game year, we talked about it. They want to make everything faster. So extra inning games now start with whoever got out the previous inning, that runner will be on second to begin the inning. What do you think about this, and does it stick or does it move on?
I think players are probably going to end up liking it because it'll speed it up a little bit, and I think the league is going to like it because it's going to speed it up, and I think it has a chance to stick around. I think I don't
Yeah,
mind it at all. I like it. A faster baseball is good. It's good
and I
for
mean, as much as I love to watch those weird games that go 18, 19 innings,
18,
like
19
you
innings.
don't need to be playing that. And like you said, I don't think the fans necessarily like it because if their team ends up losing because of it, they would have been like, oh, there was never supposed to be a runner on second anyways, blah, blah, blah. But, I think the players might end up saying, I don't want to be on my feet for an extra 2 hours if, we can finish the game in the 10th or 11th inning. So I'm going to go with that one's going to be discussed more. I don't think this year will be the year, or next year will be the year, but I think it could come back. Universal designated hitter. I love pitchers hitting, but gosh, they are so bad.
So bad at it. So
Stick, or does it move on?
I think it sticks. I wish it. I hope it sticks. I've always thought so. I've never understood. Well, I mean, I understood it, but I mean, doing those just rules. But I've always thought it should be both sides. If you're gonna have it, because it's almost an automatic out. You have to make some kind of adjustment either way it goes at some point because of that. So I think I like it. I'm fine.
But the baseball old heads, I know that they don't like it. They say, the NL is supposed to be where the pitcher hits, and when the World Series comes, it's supposed to be the NL's advantage when the AL comes, and vice versa. With having a designated hitter, I think this one eventually will. I think this one will stick. Just because of the fact that, it does improve the quality of the game because you come up, with a runner in scoring position and you're like, oh, it's the pitcher into the inning. Let's head back to the dugout, boys.
Let's go.
And, it makes it a lot more interesting, and also has to be, when it comes down to pitchers, you have to be a little bit better in situations like that. And that kind of carries us to our next point is, now they have where relievers, if they come in, they can't face one batter. They have to face a minimum of 3 batters. And, it kind of eliminates left-handed relievers or like specialty relievers because you can't go bring one guy in just to go left on left unless it's to end the inning. So it kind of makes coaches have to, dig deeper and strategize a little bit more. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think that one will stick around.
Yeah. I don't know if it will.
Yeah, that's not going to stick around. It just doesn't make sense. No, I don't think that one will stick around too much.
I don't know. And it might just due to the fact that, it does speed up the game so you don't have so many darn pitching changes. And, people always talk about, I wish baseball was faster. I wish baseball was faster. But, at the same time, like, it's supposed to be a long game. You're playing 9 innings. Football's 3 hours. Basketball's 2.5 hours. It's just not as much, consistent action, I guess you would say, in between those two. But anything else you like the baseball season so far?
Yeah, so far so good. So far so good. I hadn't honestly checked out a lot of it this season, but from what I've seen and been watching, just checking up with the numbers and everything here and there. Yeah, it's not bad.
Fans,
I'm very impressed.
Or move on.
I'm sorry I cut you off, but I'm
no, you're good.
They've been able to keep playing.
It didn't look good for a while.
Not look good for a while, but they're pulling through, and it seems like there's been a lot less positive tests here lately and everything. So I'm very happy about that for sure.
Fans, do they stick or do they move on?
Man, I like that.
There ain't no way that we are not.
I like the virtual fans, though, man. I like it. Not that they have the cutouts and stuff in baseball or whatever, but and I'm a pro wrestling fan or whatever. So in the wrestling world, they've gone to the virtual fans and everything and host monitors and everything, and I like it for sure.
Yeah, they're gonna have fans back in the seats. I mean, did you see it? I was watching last night. There was a cutout in the outfield for the Dodgers that has now got the guy has got hit in the head twice by 2 home runs this season, and somebody was like, "This guy needs to go out and buy a lottery ticket."
Crazy, yeah, for sure.
Hit by back-to-back home runs right in the head. His little cutout.
Yeah, he needs to go buy a lottery ticket and then stay in the house during lightning storms.
Yeah, absolutely.
Talk about lightning.
Yeah. Anything else you want to touch on, man? I know it's kind of been a quick show here. Anything else you'd like to touch on? I don't know if we had anything else on the docket that I'm forgetting about.
Yeah, no, I don't think so, man. I'm just glad, man, the world is getting some sports, man. It's Sports are good for the soul. Sports are good for everybody. I love it. I'm just glad we're getting sports, especially some football's back.
Yeah. And I mean, I think that was one thing that I had sent to you, but I forgot to touch on. College football, obviously, really starting to get in the mix. We had 10 plus games today, a couple last week, but really starts next week. Does college football get this thing off? Obviously, it's very similar to Major League Baseball. It's not quite the NBA with a bubble, but you think college gets this thing off and they're able to get a good season under their belt?
I hope, man. I hope so. I hope so for these kids, man. Look, you know what I mean? I hope they get to play some sort of season for sure. They deserve it. It's gonna be tough, but it's gonna be tough when there's gonna be positive tests. There's gonna be positive tests, but
and college campuses make it so much harder because we go back to college. There was times we went to parties, and these college kids were gonna want to go out and party. But, there's a chance, a lot of those tests and clusters that have been on college campuses are spreading from those things. They're going to have to hold each other accountable and be like, come on, dude, if you want to play, like, you're going to have to not go out on Saturday nights after games. You're going to have to take this serious, be a professional. And that kind of goes back to, now we're treating them like pros. Do they deserve to get paid? But that's a conversation for a whole different time for sure.
Yes, they do. But we'll talk about that some other time.
Yeah, man. All right. As we wrapped up the show last week, we'll wrap it up this week as well with some of our fan questions. And these are the ones that I didn't have a chance to send them out tonight, but these are the ones last week that we missed. A couple of our coworkers. First one comes from Emma Korpix. Dark horse NFL MVP for the 2020 season. Since I'm the host, I'm going to let you go, and I'm going to think about this one.
Offensive or defensive, or you want to do both?
I mean, we'll just do we'll do both. We'll do both, and then we'll wrap these up.
Dark horse, offensive MVP. Dark.
It's tough because you automatically off the top of your head, you think of all the guys that are favorites. Obviously, Pat Mahomes, Lamar Jackson. Give us a dark.
I don't want to go with one of them. I'm gonna go.
No way, no.
Straight up, just dark horse. I'm gonna say Aaron Rodgers. I'm gonna say he's just gonna be throwing the ball all over the place. It don't matter. He's just going for it. He's just gonna be throwing it. But Aaron Rodgers in the for the offensive.
Defense might be kind of tough.
Defensive is tough. Woo.
Put you on the spot now.
Aaron Donald.
All right, there you go. All right, so for mine, dark horse for NFL MVP offensively. I'm trying to think. Running back.
Can I change my offensive pick?
Yeah, throw one in there real quick, as long as it's not the one I wanted.
Tom Brady.
Tom Brady. I'll give Tom Brady maybe a comeback player of the year. No, he was pretty good last year. Dark horse for the NFL MVP candidate. I'm trying to go back to our conference predictions and, what player on those teams has a chance to, bounce back. And
that's what I thought of when I wanted to change my answer. I think Tom Brady's going to have like almost that year Randy Moss, Wes Welker numbers close to him.
Wow.
I think they're going to just be launching
slinging
it.
Give me, as your dark horse MVP candidate, let's go with Ezekiel Elliott of the Dallas Cowboys.
See, I didn't want to.
I
wanted to, but I didn't want to be a homer. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like Zeke, he needs to have that big year, and he's going to come out, and the Cowboys are going to be, they're going to need him to do that. And I feel like Zeke's always been close. He's had a chance, but I don't know. Do you think the reason he hasn't kind of been in that is because of the team's success?
Yeah, but I think the team's success is going to be built off of Zeke.
Yeah.
So, in the times when he's been close, he's missed games for the. You know what I mean? He's been NFL rushing leader, but he missed 4 games. You know what I mean? Or 6 games. But it's crazy.
And then, defensive.
I hope they're going to do it for sure.
Defensive MVP. I'm going to go out on a limb here.
Okay.
The big year. He's old. Von Miller, the Denver Broncos. I think Von's poised to have a big year. He's in the best shape he's ever been in his life. And the defense is going to have to be good because you have to be good in that division, So I think
Chubb's healthy. Bradley Chubb's
Chubb on the other side. Linebacking core is not very good, but they also have Jarrell Casey, who we brought over for the Tennessee Titans, really good defensive tackle. So, it can maybe free up Vaughn a little bit from taking the double team. So I'll go him as a dark horse. And,
okay.
When we talk about dark horse MVP, like people want us to mention, Saquon Barkley, Christian McCaffrey, like you have to realize those guys may have big years, but it comes down to you got to have a winning team. You guys got to win.
Teams aren't going to be good enough.
No, so that's basically what it is. And we did have one more question.
The Giants.
Yeah, basically one more question. Kylie Jones, prediction for Cam's first season. We kind of touched on this just a little bit. What are you thinking for Cam? Obviously, I don't think he's going to be much of a runner anymore in his career. I think, he'll sit back. I'm going to give my prediction first. I'll go, Cam will probably throw for, if he's healthy, this is if he's healthy in quotes, I think he'll throw for, 25 touchdowns, maybe 12 interceptions, close to 3,000 yards, probably rush the ball 50 times for 220 yards, something like that. It depends if that's still in his game in New England, because we know Belichick likes to use his quarterbacks differently, and we don't know how he's going to use a quarterback that's not named Tom Brady. So it's kind of interesting to see what that might look like.
Cam, you know what? I think Cam's going to kind of look almost like Tim Tebow did that year. It's going to be. I think because Josh Daniels was there with Tebow, wasn't he?
Yep. Right.
And so I think Josh Daniels knows how to play with a running quarterback. And but Cam can throw a lot better than Tebow could. That's for sure.
Yeah.
So
I think Cam's still a runner at this point in his career?
I don't think he's I don't think he can be considered just a runner anymore. No, not at all.
Yeah.
He's too old. He can't handle that anymore. His body just can't handle that.
Yeah, true.
But he's gonna. I think Josh Daniels is gonna implement a little bit of that read option for Cam to succeed, because he can succeed in that offense as long as a couple plays to dump it off to here and there. Yeah.
You think he'll have a bounce back year then from his last season in Carolina?
I think he'll have a better season. I think he has to. I mean, just because of the coaching alone, the offensive line is going to be coached up better in New England. Yeah, going to have a better defense overall in New England. Mm-hmm. I think he had. I don't. If he doesn't, then it's a wrap.
Yeah, that's true. He's there on a short little 1-year deal. But JR, any final thoughts here as we wrap up episode 2 of the Could Have Been Great show?
Final thoughts. Also on a podcast called Effin' Wrestling. F''N Wrestling. WRASSLING. If you're a wrestling fan, check it out. You'll have a good time.
Absolutely. Well, thanks, JR. Once again, we've got another one in the books, and we'll be back with you next week. Still, time frame's going to have to be decided, because the NFL games start, and we'll be wanting to watch those, as well as try and film this and record and get you guys something out there. But we'll definitely be back, and Jason will be back with us next week if he can get home from the mountains. His little lake trip he went on this weekend. I'm still a little bit jealous.
Sounds like fun.
Hey, he should be jealous of us. We gotta do episode 2 that Could Have Been Great show.
Exactly.
So, all right, guys. Thanks so much. We will see you all next week. Hunter Barth, JR. Till then.